Who made that hat?
You. Let's see, this is Tracing the Torsiello Roots.
Sorry.
Right, what year were you born?
1907.
1907? Are you sure about that? Where were you born at? 90 years old. Get out of the way, Miss
Newark, New Jersey.
Newark? In the hospital or at home?
At home. There was no hospitals. In my days, none of my kids were born in the hospital except three.
Really?
Yeah. They were born in Aunt Cherry and Angela and Rose. The rest were all at home.
Did you go to school? What school did you go to?
I went to, I first started St. Lucy's in Newark.
Yeah.
And then I went to 7th Avenue School.
7th Avenue School?
Yeah.
In Newark?
New York. And then I went to Webster Street School. And then I went into McKinley School.
Then she went to the 2nd grade.
And then I quit.
Wait a second.
Then I quit.
What grade did you quit at?
I was promoted to the 8th floor. We moved to Nutley at the time, and I didn't want to go to school.
4 more years, and I got full no. Dropping out. Listen to this, all of them dropping out.
Then that was what? Ouch. Joey, come on.
Come on, we're busy here.
Hello?
What's your mother's name?
No, he's at work.
Carmel.
What?
Carmel.
Okay.
How do you spell it?
Carmelo.
Like my
See,
mother?
How do you spell your
No,
mother?
the same as my mother? Carmel, C-A.
Ouch.
She was named after.
Damn.
You don't know the year she was born.
No.
The maiden name is D. Cristofaro. Her maiden name.
D. Cristofaro? How do you spell it?
Capital D-E.
Yeah.
Capital C-H-R-I-S-T-E-R-F-A-R-O.
How's it getting picked up?
T-E-R-I-F-A-R-O. That was her maiden name? All right, now we gotta, you have to think about when she was born.
Look at Bob.
The
We
date.
knew the date is we celebrated July 16th, but we never knew her month or
The year?
year
Where was she born at?
in Italy.
Do you know where in Italy? Abilene? Is it the same as on my father's side?
We related. Do you remember Anna telling you that?
Oh, go ahead.
Anna told us that.
They know the
You
Mercury
told us that when we were over your house.
Abilene?
Abileno.
That's your mother?
Both of them, my father and mother, were both born in the same
Do they
town.
know the Mercury dances from there then, or?
The only
Well,
one.
grandpa would have, great-grandpa would have known when my mother was going out with father, right?
But that's Abilene is like Jersey. And then
it's
like
Providence,
West
you mean?
Arlington.
Oh, all right.
Now the town they came from was
So that was sort of like a state, Abilene?
Providence. The province was Algebon.
What?
L-I-L-T-R-A-V-A, I think it is.
Now, what is that, the Providence? Or the, it's the
Abilene
city
is
of
like in
Abilene.
Jersey.
It's the Providence, and then that's the city?
The city.
It's the city of Abileno, that's the city.
My father came from the same town,
Same town?
but I knew his birthday was just not the year though, September 3rd.
September 3rd, but you don't know the year.
Cynthia, would you please
And what was his name?
Giovanni. His name is John.
Did they have middle names?
No.
So your father, his name was John, your mother's name was Carmela.
My
Don't know the year
father's
they were
name,
born.
the last name was Pellecchia. Pellecchia.
Your father? So that's your maiden name? I
Yeah.
never knew your maiden name.
That's one, at once.
Was there a Why did you used to say Romeo all the time, or Romana? Who's that?
Grandpa's sister.
Oh, I used to hear you say Romeo, and I always thought that was your maiden name.
That was one of our aunt, my husband's sister. She was at all functions. The others, forget them. They're dead.
How many, you don't have any brothers, right? You just have sisters.
I have two sisters, and Anna and then Eva.
What is this for?
Now, what else should I find out?
I want to know why we weren't taught Italian. That's what I want to know. Why wasn't anybody taught Italian? Why was Italian
Did you
taught
speak Italian in your house?
I know, Daddy
nobody,
spoke it.
your kids never picked it up.
Daddy spoke it, didn't he? I know he spoke it and understood
My
it.
husband did too, but we
So
never
why
used
it wasn't in
we
his
never
fault?
used it at home. Jenny went to
Well,
high school,
they
she
do.
picked it up in high school. Sonny picked it up, Pepper Potts picked it up in high school.
I didn't
And
know
in
Jenny
Angela.
knew it. And Angela too? No,
But
because
we
you know,
never
from the old,
used it
from
because,
everybody from the old country, they
you
all
know
taught
why
the
we didn't
kids.
use it? Because when you spoke, say for instance, I was talking to any of the kids, even when they went to school, their dialect was altogether different the way we were taught. So that's why.
Do you remember what year they came over from Italy? Were they married in Italy or married
No,
over
they
here?
were more married in New York, my family. My mother and father, they were married in New York.
But they
Oh,
met.
Newark.
They
Not
met
too
in
long
Italy.
ago, I found their marriage certificate amongst my papers.
Now, how did they meet when they were over here?
Through a friend of grandma's. She was living in New York. And
They married and met in New York?
I think so. Then she moved to Newark with one of her brothers.
Yeah.
And that's how she met my father.
Yeah, how many brothers and sisters they have? This can go on forever.
My father only had one brother, Sam.
Brother Sam.
My mother had Uncle Ralph and Uncle Fonzie, too.
Ralph and Fonzie.
Yeah.
Like,
And she, Fonzie's house. ALPHONSE. And then she had Lamina, Louise,
Get away from the front of the camera.
two sisters.
What were their names?
One was Louise, and the other one was Flamina.
Flamina. It says there were 2 boys, 2 and 3 girls. Louisa, Flamina, Carmela, Ralph, and Alfonso.
Yeah.
What about Grandpa? You just had the one brother, Sam.
That's all.
Grandpa only had one brother. What about the,
Her father.
oh, all right.
Wait a minute. Wait. Oh, Grandpa, your father, right? Great-grandpa.
Very good. All right.
So they both came from the same town in Italy, but they didn't meet over there. They met in New York.
New Jersey.
In
New
Jersey.
York, New Jersey. Because after she came from New York, she lived in Newark. They married in Newark.
So they married in New York. What?
No, she said her family they were in New York, but they got married in New Jersey.
My mother lived with somebody in New York. But then she
Wait a minute, back up. Who?
She
A
moved
man?
in- No, girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, my mother was too angel to think of men.
Oh, you're right with that.
In them days.
All right, Allison just had a good question. What age did they pass away at?
Good question.
My mother was 78 and my father was 81.
And that was in North?
Torsiello's lived a long life.
Your father was
They
in
lived
Orange.
in
Your father.
Nutley.
No.
Remember I told you after the 8th grade I moved to Nutley?
Grandpa didn't live with you on Lakeside Avenue?
Oh yeah, but that was after he sold the house and my mother had
I
died.
remember him there. You know.
What, you mean?
Great-grandpa.
Oh, great-grandpa.
That's what I meant.
The other grandpa didn't live with you? We're getting some real dirt here.
Oh, he came to live with us Saturday.
No, I thought you were talking about your
No, because
husband.
I don't remember great-grandma, but I remember great-grandpa. Very vaguely.
What are your...
What year was it when you moved out of Lakeside Avenue then?
45.
45?
1945.
No, you moved out of there, I mean.
62. 61, 62.
That was the first house you owned on Lakeside?
61.
No, she was in
61 we moved out of Lakeside. Well, we moved there in 45.
What do you want?
And is that the first house you owned on Lakeside
She
Avenue?
wants to hear about this stuff.
Allison, what'd you okay?
Well, where'd you live when you first got married then?
West Orange.
West Orange?
That's where your mother and Aunt Jenny was born, West Orange.
And then you lived on Day Street too, right? Oh, that was in West
When we
Orange?
first got married, we lived on Ashland Avenue, West Orange.
Ashland, that's behind Edison's, right?
That's where the towing company is, behind,
Is that behind Edison there? By Lakeside?
yes, behind Edison,
Yeah, around there. Then from there we moved to, then I moved to North Day Street. I had a grocery store in North Day Street.
You had a grocery store?
I had a grocery store in Orange, Joy Street first. We bought it, rather, my husband and his friend bought it, grocery store in Joy.
Where'd you get all this money? Grandpa owned a company, you owned a grocery store.
Not me, he bought it with a friend of his, a grocery store on Joy Street
Ah,
in Orange.
yeah,
And when you come up Jefferson,
yeah.
just before you hit Central Avenue, is that little street, Joy Street.
Yeah.
We had owned a store there. And he had us to push Aunt Jenny in the carriage all the way through Jefferson Street to Joy Street every morning. Then I got pregnant to your mother, but she was born on Ashland Avenue. But then we moved from Joy Street, the business. We moved from Joy Street to Ashland Avenue.
You sure everything's working? Because I'm not getting all this down. Right,
Now, what was the business that Grandpa owned?
wait, we're not gonna get to Grandpa yet.
Wait, I want to hear.
What memories do you have as a child?
What happened?
What memories do you have as a child? What did you do when you were a kid?
We didn't do nothing. That's why I got married young. We couldn't even go out the door.
Sounds like me.
Your father was strict, my father was worse.
Yeah.
We couldn't even look at the window, fear that somebody would
Really?
pass by and give us a kiss through the mirror.
What year
Might
was
get
that?
pregnant through the window.
What year was that?
1925. 1925 I got married.
1925, yeah?
So, February 28th.
February 20th.
Anniversary.
Next week it will be 65 years it feels
Yeah.
like.
All right, let's say you were 8 years old, Allison and Cynthia's age. What was
But we
the
lived in work then.
what was the typical day? What did you do?
Not much.
You do anything?
Not much, honest.
You went to school?
You went to school.
Go home.
There was no cars then, right?
Cars.
There was no cars then, right? Automobiles? Nothing.
There was, but not us.
The horse
We
and
didn't
buggy.
have it.
Horse and buggy?
My father didn't have a car till we moved to nothing. I don't even know how many years after that he got a car.
Did you have any friends that you hung around with, or you didn't do those things back then? No?
I go home after school and wash the clothes.
Sounds like our house, didn't
There was
it?
no television.
2:45, we weren't home. Our father went out looking for
We
us.
used to have the piano, we used to set the piano, we used to have the Victrola that you used to wind it, and we used to dance, just the three of us, like, that's what we ever did.
Now, how, Aunt Anna
And even,
and Eva, what's the difference in ages?
When were they born?
and Anna was May 26, 1908.
1908. Okay.
And Eva, August 29, 1913. They had more time. They could tell you, because after I got married, then everything broke loose.
That was it?
They figured, gee, we held her in, and I didn't know.
You ran out the window, huh? Did you put a ladder up to the window?
Yeah, that was a high window, too.
And your father thought he was painting the house, right?
All right, so
Well, how old were you when you got married?
I was 19. I was 19 in January, and I got married in February.
That's considered old back then, or?
but
Yeah, I was young. Then nobody got married young.
all right, now Cynthia said you met Grandpa.
Get inside.
You were working for him, right?
What the hell the name of the concern was in there?
Jenny put it down. I think she put it
I
down.
don't think so.
Cynthia, you better knock the
How
door
would
up.
she remember if I don't remember it?
No, she just said it was a cutlery factory in the early 1900s.
Well, No, that was later than, got married 25, I think it was about 1923.
So you
24.
You went to work at this place, and that's how you met, in 1924? And that's how you met Grandpa?
Yeah.
Working at Grandpa. You can't remember the name of the place?
No, I don't.
And you got married on February 25th.
28.
1920, no, 28, 1925.
28, 1925.
Yeah.
What else? You eloped,
Yeah.
you came to the window. How'd he get you out? How'd he get you out?
What happened after you eloped? Then what?
Got married.
I know that, but what did your father
I went
say?
to live with my father. He came over to my husband's mother's house. He wanted me to leave him and go back home. I said, no. I made my bed and I'm staying here.
Why didn't you tell your mother and father you wanted to get married?
They wouldn't let her out of
They
the
wouldn't
house.
let me out.
He might kiss you.
They had stopped me from going to work to my
Really?
husband's place.
So they
And
know
I
that you
used
were...
to sneak in to go to work a half a day. I was in money besides.
You're in what?
I was in money. I used to go in and make believe I was looking for a
You only
job.
worked a half a day?
I used to work a half a day, and I used to keep the money. They didn't want me to go to work. I wasn't even looking for work anyhow.
All right, so you guys eloped. Then, how long did Grandpa have this place?
About a year at most.
And then he started doing painting?
No, after that,
Since you
no,
had
after
the
that, I
grocery
think we
stores.
started having
No.
the stores.
In the stores. Then after the stores,
Then
Helen?
he went in for painting. Oh, no, he worked in, wait a minute, he worked in Edison. He worked in Edison, and the crash came 1929.
where did he work in Edison?
In the storage battery, they used to call it, the department.
Storage battery?
Yeah.
What's that?
You know, the batteries you
They
put
used
in
to
cars.
make batteries.
Then the crash came.
The crash came in 29, he got laid off.
Now, you were married how long when the...
5 years, 4 years.
And who was born?
Well, Jenny and Millie, your mother, was born before the crash. Frances was born at the crash
Oh, yeah?
in November.
I thought Francis was the oldest one.
And Jenny. Then
And then your mother, and then Frances.
And then when Aunt Frances was born, that's it.
Right, so then after the crash, then he started the house painting company?
Yeah.
Now, what was it like during the Depression then?
He used to work for the WPA.
The who?
WPA.
Double PA, who's that?
It was,
PPA.
I forgot what.
Well, like the...
It's a program during
What do you call it? Billy's
Depression.
father worked in
the CC.
CCCs.
Yeah.
It was a thing where they had, the government made jobs for these people to work at. You know, like they built dams or something. to that
Subsidized in
effect.
place of the welfare. They put you to work there. And that was to subsidize the welfare they were giving you. Thing like today, fur coats, limousines and all that. You see them going with stamps in the path mark. In them days, you're lucky what you got.
All right, now, I didn't get anything on Grandpa. It's Pasquale Torsiello. What year was he born?
April 24th, 1892.
1892?
1492.
And where
It
at?
was what, 15 years
Born
difference?
in Salerno.
Salerno, Italy?
Yeah, Laviana.
Did he go to any school or graduate from school or anything? Or complete any grades?
He was 6 years old when he came here. I don't know if he went to any schools, to tell you the truth.
So he came
He
over...
never mentioned, if he did, it would have been around West Orange.
What?
Because they lived down White Street in West Orange.
So he was 6 years old when he came to America.
Yeah.
Something like
Do you know his mother and father's names?
His mother's name is Vigenz.
How do you spell that?
Venezia.
Yeah.
Giuliano, with a G.
With a G?
Yeah.
Juliano?
Guilano. Giuliano. Grandpa was Antonio.
Antonio Torsiello.
And he was born in the same town.
I don't think that's it.
Ma, did you clean up the dish box?
No, I didn't.
Alright, you're upstairs.
Think.
Well, what did you start? You started with Aunt Jenny, you know, when she was born, and went down to Aunt Frances. You got everybody's date, when everybody was born?
Well, when they send all this in, I'll have it. I have,
Well, what was where was Uncle Pat in line? He was like towards the end, right? Who's the,
There was
no,
five
no,
girls.
it's Angela and Uncle Tony, right? Is Uncle Tony the youngest next to
No,
you?
and Angela.
No, I mean
Go
next to
through the
you.
list.
Between Angela's Jerry.
Oh, between? Uncle Tony's older? So where's Uncle Tony compared to Uncle Pat?
Uncle Pat was first, he was the sixth.
Sixth one?
Tony was the seventh.
Oh, so those two were
Jerry was
together.
the eighth. Yeah,
Now, what's the difference in their ages?
13 months,
Yeah.
2 months.
So basically, all the girls were together and then the boys, right?
The boys, and then the last two girls again.
Who comes after? Is Aunt Jenny, Millie, Frances? Then who's after Aunt Frances?
And Anna's two. Then Aunt Rose,
Uncle Pat,
Uncle Pat,
Uncle Tony.
Jerry, Aunt Jerry, and Angela.
What were they like as kids growing up?
They were perfect angels. They didn't do anything wrong. Rose, they were.
Wow, we want to hear what my mother did.
Yeah, what did my mother do? She alone too.
I don't know of anything, but when we sit down, they come out with all the dirt that they used to do.
No, because you can't do nothing about it now. That's why they're doing it.
Now they
You
come
can't
out
get
with
them. Did you know that they were climbing out the windows? Yeah, and Aunt Rose knew that they did on Aunt Rose all the time. Did you know they were climbing out the windows and sneaking out with the
No,
birds?
that's what I'm saying. That's not that.
Rotten kids.
Well, how come they couldn't go out? They're not allowed.
I kissed them.
Because I had to go out. I went out. And Aunt Jenny used to be the babysitter.
Like Mary.
And she used to send them to bed at 6:30 because she wanted her boyfriends to come in the house.
Where did you and Grandpa go?
Well, he used to go down to, there was two hangouts.
Clubs.
There were taverns. He used to go play bocce or cards.
Where was that at?
One was on East Day Street, and one was on Washington Street. And I used to go to the movie around the corner.
And that's where you got those dishes that you gave to your kids.
Pots and pans, glasses, whatever.
When you went to the movies, they used to give that stuff out?
A quarter used to get, a quarter was paid for the movie, and you get a pot, whatever they gave out. Yeah.
Let's see, what else is there?
We should do that now, because they're stars.
You don't get nothing.
Yeah, but now you got to tell us as kids, how were they? You know, before they could go out and sneak out.
Well, I had no problems with them, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. They didn't do anything like I heard my mother stuck her head in the oven to dry her hair.
What? Is that what's wrong with her? She stuck her head in the oven to dry her hair? You weren't there. You were out at the movies again?
No, I don't remember that part. All I know, I was out to the welfare office. We had to go and report every 2 weeks or a month, whatever it was. And I come home, her hair was all singed. What the hell happened? She claimed, I don't know if you...
And Jenny
We used to have a hot water tank with a gas heater on the side.
Stuck her
She
head in
went
the
to
oven.
like that to get a bath or something, and she fringed her
She
hair.
had a crystal ball and she saw the future. She said, let me kill myself now.
Let the kids come. You were saying before in the car, after Grandpa fell off the ladder, he was painting the house. He stopped working then? What year was that about?
1952. No, 50. I think it was just before Anna graduated or right after Anna graduated.
So when I was born?
50?
told me before you...
Moved out of Lakeside in 1961. That's when you went to Arnold Terrace in South Orange, right? And you bought the house with Uncle Pat. You lived on the first floor, they lived on the second floor.
Well, we lived together at the beginning until he converted.
Oh, really?
That was a one-family house.
Upstairs used to be just bedrooms.
I had a bedroom
Where the
upstairs.
bathroom was a bedroom, wasn't
There
it?
was a big kitchen.
No.
Where the bathroom is now.
No, where they upstairs. No, upstairs. Where in Anna's kitchen. That was a bathroom.
Big bathroom.
Yeah.
That was a bathroom?
And there was a stairway to go up to the attic from
Yeah.
inside, so he did away with that. But in the back, then where the bathrooms are now, that's added on.
Yeah,
They
I
were
know
added
that.
on.
I remember always going down in the cellar. We used to go over on Sundays, and we'd go down in the basement, and there was a million bottles of Hoffman soda, all kinds. Hoffman, no, Brookdale.
Brookdale, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we gotta go back to Lakeside Avenue, but all the parties you have in the basement down there.
I don't remember Lakeside Area.
Used to have parties down there. Uncle Joe used to play the accordion.
I remember seeing pictures of
Uncle
that.
Mickey used to play as a harmonica.
Those were the days.
Used to swing around the poles.
I don't remember much of Lakeside Avenue. The only thing I remember is
Well, there's just one thing I have to know. Every Christmas, Santa Claus used to come. Now,
Who was
who
it?
was Santa Claus?
What are you whispering for, Grandma? She's a big girl now. You can tell her. What kid? You can tell her now, Grandma. The cat's out of there.
Mommy, I heard that.
Oh.
That's when
was,
Aunt Anna
Santa's
became pregnant
Mommy,
because
who's
he
on
was
Santa Claus?
Santa Claus that year, and she became pregnant. We always tease her on that.
Santa Claus did it.
When did they convert the house on Arnold Terrace into two-family?
A couple of years, I think.
Couple of
It
years.
wasn't too long.
What else? What else? You don't remember your grandparents' names or anything like that, do you? You don't have any records anywhere that would tell you. See, that's why we're gonna put all this down in writing, so when Allison and our children want to know all this stuff.
The book will be lost.
I know. Where'd I put that book? What year did Grandpa pass away?
My husband?
Yeah.
1970.
July 25th, 1970. Your father was 8 months after that. March 28th, 1971. Your father.
Let's see, what else is there? I remember those picnics we used to have in the backyard. Remember our backyard?
Oh, yeah.
4th of July, was it?
Whatever it was,
No, we used to go up there.
Oh, yeah, the big up there.
no, there.
Playground or something. Everybody
Used to hang flags all over the place in the backyard.
Must have been out of the house at that time.
Yeah, running around.
Always. Snuck out a lot too. I must take it to you, Grandma. Used to have to come when I came home. Daddy used to chase me in his bed because I was out.
That didn't matter. The broom went under the bed. I remember the broom always going under the
Daddy used to
bed.
go this way.
It didn't matter where you went, he got you somehow.
Yeah, when he lifted the bed, he used to lift the bed right up.
Oh, yeah.
He used to lift the bed right up.
I remember the stick
You roll this way, roll this way. Oh no, the bed's going up. What do we do now?
He didn't do that for us. He must have got smart in his old age.
I don't know. Maybe that's why I have these marks on my hand. I was hanging onto the coils.
Please, I remember when we used to live down on 3rd Street, Grandpa used to come downstairs because Mommy used to see the mice running around.
Yeah.
I remember a few times he used to come with the broom, pow, pow.
All right, what else is there? Is there anything else you have to say? Anything else you can think of? Let's see what's in here.
What did Aunt Jerry say? Hers.
There's
The station wagon.
I don't remember what kind of car it
Green
was.
station
Was
wagon.
that what it was? Because I remember you couldn't put your feet.
Henry Street, Indiana. And Francis lived on Henry Street.
227.
They both used to live on
The next door to the big brick building, there used to be a hard,
And Francis used to live next to the drugstore in Anna.
right, the drugstore
And
now.
then Aunt Frances was in the new apartment building that they built. Aunt Frances was the next block after me, wasn't she?
No, I thought Aunt Frances
No,
lived
she
on
was in
Henry
that
Street.
house.
She used to own that house.
She used to own that
I
house.
thought she said that.
But then when she bought the house in Island, that's when she rented it to
And Uncle Tony.
Uncle Tony.
I didn't know. I thought
Because that used to be her mother-in-law's house.
Yeah, because Uncle Tony was telling me all his relatives were from Henry Street.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I remember they used to pick me up in their car, and you had to watch me put your feet because there was no floor in the car.
We're going through it.
I remember sleeping over their house when they moved on Valley Street in South Orange. And the train used to go by all the time. It used to scare me like anything. And Jackie thought he was Superman. And he'd say he's going to jump or something onto the train.
We used to go to we were sent down to Aunt Frances. You remember that going down there?
I remember that dog. I mean, it was a horse. It wasn't a dog that they had. I hated going there.
We were going there like in the
dog.
summertime. For some reason, we were always farmed out. I remember going down there one summer, I was crying, I wanted to go home. But we were in the backyard. Aunt Frances had like a little pool maybe about this big. And I guess apparently I didn't have a bathing suit or something. I remember swimming around in my underwear and somebody came up by the pool. I was like, ah!
You mean you were allowed to stay out overnight?
No, I forget who it was. No, I think Marion and Joey and me. I forget who it was. We went down. That was like going away on vacation.
I remember Betty and Francis when I
Oh,
was
that's
little.
one thing though. Your father always used to take us down to
down to
seaside. We always went.
Oh yeah, every year at Aunt Jackie's.
Is that thing so
Going
far?
out to Kingsburg or something like that. We used to do. But he would never stay down. He would bring us down there and then go back home again because he couldn't.
You're kidding.
He used to, well, never. He would stay, but he would go home because he had to work or he doesn't like the shore or something to
He
that.
never went on the beach. He hated the beach.
Like he would walk around with their pants on.
Yeah.
We used to go to Aunt Jenny's
Oh,
every
we should
year.
show it.
2 weeks every year.
I used to stay down there even past that with Aunt Jenny, with Angela. Remember, I was so homesick. Remember one time I had to go all the way back home because I wouldn't stop crying. I wanted to go home.
Thanks. Not right now. Go in the room. Joey, I want this thing to record and stop.
See it. It was.
Yes, it is. How come we stopped having reunions at Turtleback?
Because of the last party that we went up there, there's a lot of colored came in, and we always had an argument. And then we had all the tables, we had things on them, they took the forks and put them on another table, and we didn't go nowhere.
Remember we would go there and we'd have all kinds of games planned to play and stuff.
And Uncle Mitch used to make one of those big
Pinatas, yeah.
I remember Uncle Pat pulled his arm. Playing baseball.
fell and broke his arm. He has.
You don't remember him pulling his arm out of socket playing baseball? You don't remember?
She's younger than you, and you just you.
Remember like
Must have been somewhere else.
maybe you were on, no, everybody knew. You had to
were all
know.
there.
You had to know.
Grandpa was
Didn't they have to
there.
rush
That
him
was
to the
last
hospital?
time. Grandpa was there too. That's the last party we had.
Was it?
A get together rather.
I remember that. They were all playing baseball
Yeah.
and he pulled his arm out of his socket.
Anybody think of anything else? Let's get some blackmail on our mother. You hear this, Ma? What kind of a child was my mother?
What do you think, she's gonna care?
What?
I said, what do you think, she's gonna care? And get my money. Well, how did they all wind up meeting everybody in South Orange though?
Yeah, that's what I want.
You still don't know that, do you?
They were sneaking out the windows at
I
night.
used to go to a bowling alley.
Palladium?
Llewellyn?
No, the one.
You know where Brick Church is now?
Palladium.
Across the
Oh,
street.
yeah, they own
The
that.
Palladium.
Palladium, yeah.
Yeah.
Aunt Jenny and your mother. And that's how they met the three guys from from South Orange. So all the guys from
They used
South
to take the
Orange
20 bus.
used to come there. fact, Tony
No,
Bubbles.
they used to steal the cars.
Tony
Remember how
Bubbles,
Sonny used to
Lynn's father used to be with them too. And he was gone with one of Aunt Jenny's girlfriend, but she didn't care much for him, so better off she didn't.
That's right. I think I do remember Lynn's father being friendly with David. I think he used to.
Oh, that was before you was with
No,
them.
I think he. Well, I used to. I used to go
In
over all
fact,
the time.
I
He
think,
probably would have told
he
me
was
at
in
one
his
time.
wedding. Your father was in his wedding when they got married.
He probably had told me at one time.
That time your mother was pregnant, Marion. And she didn't go to the wedding, and he went to the wedding because he was in the bridal party. Now, why couldn't he bring his wife there?
She was pregnant.
Wasn't allowed out of the house. She wasn't allowed out of the house. Don't you remember that? Wasn't allowed out of the house. Wasn't allowed to smoke in the house either.
How's this one? 13 minutes.
Now, what about you? You got any questions that you can ask?
That you want to know from your great grandmother? Like, what was it like back then? Think hard, now. Don't break anything.
How much difference is there between Christine and John John?
John
Christina's
was born
13.
in
13?
73.
Christina was born the year I got married, so that was 76.
John was born in 73, and Christina's 76, so there's
Well, he
3
is
years.
17 already.
Yeah, he'll be 70.
Yeah,
He is 17.
He's got his
That's what I
driver's
mean, because
license.
he's got his driver's
Yeah.
license now. Christine's birthday's becoming next.
April.
She'll be
How many? She'll be
13?
14.
14, yeah.
Oh, she's got 2 more years to go. I thought I must start saving another thing up.
John got his license and he already got in an accident.
He did?
Yeah.
He almost did.
No, he did.
Yeah?
What did he do?
I don't
He
know.
didn't get hurt.
Is it his fault, or?
I forget. Who told me now? I forget. Getting like you now. He told me something about he thought the person was going to turn or something or switch lanes and they didn't do it and he went right into them. I forget. Something like that. But Good was saying, I told him not to take that car.
Surprised your sister makes him drive. The way she's scared to drive around here.
Yeah, I know.
He'll probably be all over the countryside.
Oh, he can take mommy down here now. He can take mommy down here now. She never wants to come down, so John can drive her now.
Yeah, sure.
She wouldn't go with him, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe.
I can just hear it. John! Oh, that's what I wanted to know. Didn't you say one time that your mother was blind or something?
She went blind when my sister Eva was born.
So she wasn't born like that. And how did that happen?
See, in them days, it isn't like today or in my days. I used to go to the clinic.
Yeah.
Just take your urine and just take your blood work and all that business. In them days, they didn't. They had midwife, which I had a midwife too. But my midwife made us go to the hospital, to the clinic. And we used to get checkups. In case of anything went wrong, you were registered for the hospital that you could have went. And you didn't hear of anything about the cesarean births in them days. That's the... And we don't know whether she might have had some albumin, she might have had cataracts in them days. You didn't hear of cataracts like today. There's so much of it. It's so common today, cataracts.
So it was when Aunt Eva was born?
The old girl with her hands this way. It was like a fog in front of her, and she was trying to move it from her, you know? And we were wondering why. We go, Ma, why do you do that for? Oh, I don't know. There's something in front of here.
And how old was she then?
Well, Aunt Eva was born in
1913.
1913.
Well, I'd say about a couple of years after that, 1915. She was 25 when she got married, and I was born when she was 26 years old. Now, I was born 1907, and 1913, that was 6 years after she got married. that happened with the last child.
No, because what made me think about it is, Good went to the doctors and they said she has glaucoma. So, like, when I was talking to her, she had to go back the next week to find out how to treat it, and I didn't talk to her yet to see, what they said. So I was just wondering if it was something that was hereditary.
In them days, like I said, you never heard of cataract, never heard of...
Well, they probably wouldn't have been able to treat it then anyway, even if she had found something wrong.
In fact, they took... that's how I didn't go to school anymore, because upon her losing her eyesight, she had to have somebody at home. And not only that, I had to go with my father to go to different doctors for her checkups.
What did your father do for a living?
Well, he was a mason. You know, these people build up big buildings, and in them days they didn't have machines to mix concrete. They used to mix and put it in. They used to have like a box on a long stick carried on their shoulder up a ladder to bring it wherever they had to throw the cement. In fact, I remember we took her to New York Hospital, this here eye and ear hospital specialist.
Yeah.
And they took x-ray of her head, my mother and talked to her. And they found that her valves coming into the eyes were dried out. There was no functioning. Fluid.
The fluid? Did she ever wear glasses before?
Nothing.
And you don't know what caused it because she never said it.
You never got to the bottom of it.
What's glaucoma?
Has to do with the pressure on your eyes.
Not good. I better go get my eyes
Yeah, that's what Annie and High's father had. They
Oh,
operated
yeah?
on him.
Well, I know that he told her to stop drinking so much tea. She drinks about 5 cups of tea a day. And that was one of the things he said, before she went back, is to stop drinking so much tea. I don't know what that got to do with it.
Just, the caffeine does a lot to your nervous system and stuff like that, and like have something to do with nerves.
Does she come to the wedding, you know?
No, she's not going. Who's writing my book? She's not going.
Let's see, what we talk about her grandchildren. What was the first thing when Marion was born? What did you do?
Right up and down the street. I'm an ant. Oh, no, that was an Angela.
Ran up and down Lakeside Avenue
When
to
she
tell
was
the
3?
her girlfriends.
She was what?
Yeah.
Wait, how old was
3
she?
years old or something?
She was 3.
Aunt Jenny's got it in here somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't say the age. She was very young. Running up and down the streets, I'm an ant.
She was 3 years old.
She was your first grandchild? Your favorite too, right? You hear that?
I don't have no favorite, believe me.
Oh, come on, you can tell us.
Well, Brian, you too.
They're all the same to me. No favoritism.
Who was the second one then? Joey. Joey or?
No, your mother lost one between Joey and...
Oh, that's right. That's
that was Joey.
She only had grandchildren from mommy until
Oh, that's right. Was it?
Angela Rose was the first, right?
I guess so.
And Jenny was the first one to have after my mother, right?
Angela wasn't born until 1956.
Was
Joseph's not older than Angela. He's younger.
no, Joseph's not my age.
So
No, wait, what am I talking about? How about Aunt Frances? How old are her kids? How old
he's
was
with-
Roseanne?
He's with
So was Angela, right?
Joanne, Uncle Tony's Joanne. Then comes Angela Rose, then your brother Bobby, and then Anthony Powell. Those 4.
All together?
So they'll be 34 this year.
Let's see, how old am I? 1954.
34.
36. I'm gonna be 36 this year.
So who was Bobby?
Wait, erase that.
Bobby was born after you.
Bobby was born after me, yeah.
So then there was you.
It was us, then
Us four, and the one that died 5 before
Angela.
the next ones came in.
Is Angela older than Bobby?
No,
I
I
didn't
just
say
said
Bobby, I think so.
Joanne,
Joanne's the oldest of them?
the oldest, then
Oh, so
Angela
that was
Rose.
Joanne then, okay.
Joanne, then Angela Rose, then Bobby, and then Anthony Powell that year, 4 of them. For you girls,
Yeah, we were-
you
yeah,
all, and Joanne, she died when she was 6 weeks old. She was being baptized that day, and the priest says to Joanne, Stella, was it Joe? Her husband was the godfather? Well, I know Stella was the godmother anyways for Joanne. While they were baptizing, the priest says, has this child been sick? And Stella says, no. He says, well, I'm going to rush the baptism because I think the child is sick. But he never told the child had died in Stella's arms.
Really? I didn't know that. I knew she had died, you know, when...
In the church, and by the time he says, rush home and I'll have a doctor there for you, but instead of a doctor, the ambulance was in front of the house when they came in from church. Then we all got a phone call. Instead of going to the christening, we went to the dead.
She had an enlarged heart or something, was it?
I don't know. She had a whole something because she was taking her to the doctor, and the doctor has says to your mother, bring her back Monday. Now, what they were going to do on a Monday. And that's how I guess they must have rushed it, or if they knew, because every time the kid cried, she used to turn blue.
And I remember, I think my mother said something about when she was pregnant, she fell down the steps or something like that, in the back of Derby Street.
Whether it was her. I know she fell down the steps with one of them, but I don't remember whether it was that one or who it was. I don't know.
I never knew the story. I just kept on hearing when I was younger bits and pieces about
Joanne?
the baby. I didn't even know her name.
Joanne.
Someone said she was a twin. That's not, all right, see, that's what I'm saying. I never knew the story. I just kept hearing bits and pieces when I was a lot younger. No, Mommy never said nothing. I don't remember her ever saying anything about it. What do you remember about your grandchildren? Your grandchildren. Do you remember anything special about any of your grandchildren? Anything they did?
The only one is Anthony Powell, that he got a convulsion when he was 3 or 4 months old.
Yeah.
That's why he was slow in speaking.
Ah.
It affected his speech. But now, God bless him, he's here. Looks good now. Of course, she's had him through different special classes and all. That's the only one.
See, who was your great-grandchild? First great-grandchild? John. How many great-grandchildren do you have?
How many are we up to now?
Oh, I have 19 now.
As 19?
19 great-grandchildren? Or
Yeah.
19 great.
As of, what's today?
That will be 20. I got to put $100 at Easter and $100 Christmas.
God. Wait, how's the 19? See, if your people turn your stuff, I'd have all this information.
Kathy, why are you talking to camera?
I don't know, because whoever sees this, they're all going to see this sooner or later.
Figure it
All
out.
right, just John. All right, wait, let's start with the first one. It was John, and then John and Christina.
And who was born after that?
Joanne's kids? Joanne's kids.
Yeah,
Joanne.
the next one.
There was-
Yeah.
How many does she have?
She's
Three?
She's got 3.
Alexis.
Alexei, Melanie,
Oh, Melanie.
but then in between.
Wait, who's the other one? Alexis, Melanie?
Yeah, but there was others in between after
All right,
that.
well, let's just go through the family
That's
then.
3 with Joanne, that's 5 right there.
Wait, Alexis, Melanie, what's the other one's name? I can't remember her name.
Missy, Melissa, and Melissa.
I thought it was Melissa.
All right, so
Then Aunt Frances got 3.
Roseanne has Mark,
Jennifer, and Cheryl.
who else?
Jackie has 1.
Rebecca, right?
Aunt Anthony has 2.
Where Anthony?
Anthony who?
Torsiello, he got 2.
Just had another one.
In August they had the other one.
What are their names again?
Katie,
I don't know if it's Kathleen or what they call it, Katie. And Anthony the third, AJ. They don't call him Anthony, they call him AJ.
Who else has number 11? Mary Jo has one. Corinne. Corinne.
And Jerry has 1.
Mary has April. Tricia. Did you that?
2.
Joey. Cynthia.
And yours.
Allison. Laura.
And then little Joey.
And little Joey.
There's one missing.
Joey.
And then little Michael.
Freddie.
Michael, Angela.
And then the 20th one being Michelle. So there's 19 great-grandchildren. And how many grandchildren? How many grandchildren?
6.
36.
That's what I figured. Unless I'm counting the ones that died and the ones, well, the only one died would be just your Joanne, your sister Joanne.
36 grandchildren, 19 great-grandchildren. 7, how many kids? 9 kids. That's why we don't have a reunion.
John 17, how many more years? You'll be working on great.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. It's gonna be here by that time, gee.
Yeah, you'll be
Think
here longer than
you
us.
think you were going to be here to see 19 of them? So, you don't look like you're going anyplace. Please. I wish I could remember, Kappa. What do you remember?
I know. I don't know how you remember all
I
the
can't even
dates.
remember when I have to get to the store when I gotta go. Make a list.
That's why we don't have any more reunions, because of all these people, 55, and then spouses, forget it.
Well, at my first party that they had for the 75th, it was 110. Of course, there was a few friends with my nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
There was 110 then. I don't know the 80th birthday, how many there were.
The 8th was the one I missed, right? That's when I had Allison.
The 75th, you didn't come
This is
because
the
we had.
75th one?
Which one was the one you had
Yeah,
at
Allison
the
was born
church?
in 80,
You had at the
1980.
church. No, wait, no. The one, who was the one that Aunt Frances got the place down by her? Which one was
That
that?
was when she was 80.
I was at that one.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think I was at your 75th.
I wasn't there. That was the one they had at the place in South Orange.
It wasn't a
Mason,
church.
the barn.
Yeah,
Mara
yeah, it
Lodge.
was a
Yeah,
church.
that's the one I
something like
missed.
that.
I just had Allison.
No, that wasn't.
You didn't have Allison.
Sonic Lodge.
Oh wait, I'm thinking she's 80, 1980.
Looks like a church.
It was Sonic Lodge, like the one we go for Freddie's uncle's place. It's like them. They don't rent it no more. I understand they're gonna make a condo out of that. or
Another one?
something.
Figures.
Something they're gonna do out of that now. We need a good place, but they're too expensive. They won't. The last time it was $300. We had Teresa's engagement there too.
that he needs is here.
He doesn't need that piece. So no.
He does.
Yeah, they have to
So he's
sign
coming
it.
over to get it.
You know,
And he wants to know, he wants to know if I can go with him. I'm
No.
gonna bring my car if they have another
no,
Lamborghini.
because we have to go. I have to go out later on tonight. We're not roaming around all over town, okay?
No, but there's one more thing, Mark. He wants to know if his mother's gonna pick me up. We're gonna go shopping for something. Then we're gonna come. Then she's gonna bring us back, or I'm gonna go to church with them. But I don't want.
Joey, I told you, you're not running all over town.
I'm not. I'm just going to see
Pick
David.
on. You know, you're sick, you got a cold. I don't want you going all over, right? Because
Well-
tomorrow you'll be complaining when you can't go someplace.
Come on, Mommy.
Go and sit down.
But he's on the phone.
I said no.
Why?
Because they already went through the
You
store.
want a brownie grill?
I hate you.
Get back, you.
That's the next thing we gotta get from you. Your world famous recipes.
What you want?
All your recipes.
You don't make the sour cream cake no more.
Yeah, we did that in a long time. That's another thing I remember. I remember always going over your house on Arnold Terrace on Sunday, and you made these little tiny cupcakes with pink ice on them. And I can remember I must have been about that high and looking at them like, come on, jump off the table. I remember every time we went, how did you make all those
you probably don't remember this one. One Sunday we were over there, and I don't know if I had a headache or what the heck it was. I was laying down in the living room, and all of a sudden I look up and say, what the heck is she doing? You had a ball. And she's going over my head. A ball over my head. I'm like, that's the old time. Somebody gave me one of these.
Yeah.
A bowl?
Whammy. She's doing a spell on her.
With water in it, and then as you go with the prayer
Did you think you were dying?
over the body, then you have a little oil in a cup or something. You put 3 drops in it. If those drops of oil spread, that meant that somebody gave it the evil eye.
Uh-oh.
Whatever happened to you? Just
All right, did it
That
spread?
3 times, and you had to throw it 3 different places so that they wouldn't get together.
Where'd you learn this at?
My grandmother taught me.
I gotta spend some money on that.
I think it was your grandfather. Oh, maybe she's got the eyes. Somebody else.
Everybody did it.
But you were pretty.
You could never say, oh, you don't like your dress, or, that the
Don't you
baby.
remember Uncle Mickey always saying, Tricia should be a mom, Tricia should be a
He used to tell
mom?
me I should play the piano with my fingers. But if you ever said to somebody, your baby's pretty, and if you didn't say God bless after that, forget it. That was the old evil eye. You're overlooking them.
Yeah. When I first had Jenny, my mother-in-law made me put a black ribbon around my Jenny's hand
Keep the
that would keep
spirits
the
away.
evil eyes off of her. And then when you would go out with a scissor and with underneath the carriage, between the mattress and the carriage,
What was the scissor for?
the same thing.
Let the evil people around.
Did I ever find out who your grandparents' mother's name? Do you remember the?
I don't even.
You asked her that. She said she
My father's mother I was named after her. And my father's father was Salvatore. But the other ones, they were in Europe. I don't remember their names.
Did you have any cousins or anything like that over here?
All my cousins were born here. On my mother's side, it's the only cousins we had. Because my father didn't have, the one brother had a daughter, but she was adopted. And we didn't bother much with her.
I always see a truck up in Providence where I work, Torsiello. They're contractors. They're not related.
There's a lot of them in Belleville and some in Newark, but
Their name's spelled different, isn't it?
no,
That was
it's
the same?
But we don't know who they are. When Grandma was alive, my mother-in-law, I used to take her to Belleville and see these people. But then,
Wait a minute. How did you take them? You didn't drive.
with buses.
Oh, okay. I was like a horse. Bus on every street.
And trolleys. In them days, there used to be a trolley.
Trolley.
Trolley cars.
We
Do you
used to
remember
have
the trolley?
I never remember, but I remember that like South Orange Avenue used to have the tracks in the middle of the street.
There used to be in back of 3rd Street, Church Street. There used to be one used to come in
Where?
from
North?
from Maplewood someplace.
Ah.
But I never rode on that one, but I've heard of it. But I used to live from West Orange. We just take the bus up or the trolley in West Orange where the town hall is.
Yeah.
And you go all the way down to Main Street. You used to go all the way down.
How much was it? A nickel?
That's right. That
Nickel?
And then from there, when I got down Broader Market, we used to take that bus going into Belleville. In fact, when I moved to Nutley, that's how the bus used to be right on our corner where we lived. And I used to take that bus to go to Newark to work and wherever I had to go.
I guess that's everything.
Let's see, when's the first TV they got?
Oh, yeah.
What did you do to entertain your children?
That's it.
Radio?
Controller. Used to have, Jenny and Millie used to have a play a piano. Jenny had, just to get at the end of the bench with a little ass.
Who played it? It played by
It
itself?
was a player piano.
Nobody played the piano with them? Yeah. But Aunt Jenny still has a player piano, doesn't she? Did she have one? I think Marion said she had one.
It's a regular
piano. A regular piano.
I thought she said there was a player piano.
That Angela Rose was supposed to take lessons, but then I didn't know.
I thought she said she
No, Muzzie's father had one up on Church Street. I don't know if they still have it. But ours used to have an attachment. It used to have a mandolin attachment to it. You put it down, and while the piano was playing, you get the what's called there, the banjo tab. Like there was a band.
Oh, yeah? Where'd you get that at?
We bought it.
Well, you just said you were so poor.
Well, I wasn't always poor, you know. $1 when you catch me. Grandpa was mad when I ordered that and it came in the house.
Really?
That's like my mother. I remember a guy used to come to the house if she wanted to slip covers or something like that.
Plastic slip covers?
No, not plastic ones. These were the ones that you just put over the couch. Just stretch.
Oh, wow.
But the guy used to come to your house, and that's what he used to do. Pay him $1 each
Yeah.
week, whatever.
They used to have the payment envelopes. That you had to mail.
Remember that guy was
Bedspreads,
coming.
curtains,
I
Yeah.
remember that.
sheets.
He used to come up on Third Street.
There's
too.
a guy that's, I believe he's still nice. He still does that. He does that. You buy furniture, you buy anything off when it comes to the house. He's a lot more than everybody else, but you make the payments on it. You have furniture, everything. You always find stuff off of him.
I got a good one. What was your weekly shopping bill back when you had your kids?
You used to grow the stuff outside.
$10, $15, $20. And you sit there, you feed the whole family every week. In them days, you get a pound of beans, I think it was 5 or 10 cents. We used to cook our own beans. It ain't like today, you buy them by the can. Chickpeas, we used to buy them. You had to put them to soak the night before.
When did you start sewing?
Oh, that was my line when I was single too. After your grandfather's business went out,
So you did it before you got married?
I used to sew before I married him.
Where was
Before I
that?
went in, that was in Passaic. I worked down there.
She used to work in a sewing factory in Orange.
Then I used to work there. Well, that was
Before she retired.
That was in 1947 when I went out to work.
Yeah, but that's what you did until you retired.
Yeah, 1947 I went out to work and I retired 1972.
Where was the place at that you used to work?
When I first went to work, it was down on North Day Street, at the foot of Elizabeth Street. I
Joey.
don't ever go that far.
More towards Park Avenue, across Park Avenue?
Past Park Avenue.
What was the name of it?
Just before you come to Washington Street.
Yeah.
Used to be the name of it was Sandpiper. The name of the place. Then we moved from there, we moved up on South Day. Now, there's a parking lot of the bank. Second National, it used to be the Second National, now it's the Jersey something.
Yeah. On Main Street?
Yeah, Main and Day. But it was more on Day Street. There used to be a building there. And we moved there from North Day to South Day. From South Day, we went down to the village something, down in East Orange. The name of there was a little area.
Where yours is? Where that was
No, this
talked
was
about?
way over near Dot Street, the long way from Dot Street. Glenwood Avenue.
Yeah.
there's, the shops are still there, but I'm not selling that I know of. Then we went there, then from there we moved to Newark on Douillet and First Street. And that's when we went out of business, 1962 we went out of business. Then I got a job in East Orange. From East Orange we moved to Main and Day, where the camera shop is, upstairs from there. Then from there moved in right next to the highway there. There's a
280.
building stands right in,
By 280?
yeah, on Day Street, but it says
Oh,
way in.
yeah.